Hey, Kathy.
How are ya?
Well, I spent most of my day in the hotel pool with my grandchildren, so I'm doing great. I'm a little waterlogged.
That sucks.
I know.
Wow.
I know. I'm down in where am I? I'm in Virginia today.
You're in Virginia. Well,
Hmm.
you're there hanging out with your grandkids because there's something really super exciting happening in your family.
Right. My daughter is ready to have a baby any day now.
Yeah. And that's baby number 3.
Baby 3 for her and grandbaby 4 for me.
That's crazy.
I
That's crazy.
know.
But it just so speaks to why we do this. And as women, we are just really almost belligerent sometimes about Alberta independence and why we need to push this through and push this forward because we got some generations behind us that we've really
Oh
got to
yeah.
keep.
It's totally mama bear driven, and we just see that so many times. And even with women who haven't necessarily, they never had children or grandchildren, they still have that in them where it's like, no, like we're not going down with this ship, and we are going to provide something for the generations coming after us.
Oh,
And
exactly.
yeah, every time, there's part of me. My daughter has been in the States for a number of years now. She married an American. I'm married to an American.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that connection is something that I don't think a lot of Eastern Canadians get, especially in Southern Alberta. So many of the pioneers and the settlers that came into that area in the late 1800s, early 1900s were from the States.
That's
And
right.
there's still those strong family connections. So, I run a bed and breakfast, and, over the summer, we had a few Eastern Canadians come out and stay with us.
Mm-hmm.
Not near as many as we have in the past. I don't think traveling is something that a lot of Canadians can afford to do anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you know, their reactions when they heard that, half my family is American, I bit my tongue because I'm polite and I'm a hostess. But I was like, you are completely clueless. You do not understand the connections that we have in Alberta to America as our family and as trading partners, the whole bit. So,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah. It's good to keep our eyes and ears wide open to these conversations and
100%. 100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not be so
So,
quick to judge. Don't be so darn quick to judge.
well, and yeah, they're appalled. They were appalled that I was traveling to the States. I'm like, I'm not abandoning my family for your elbows up crap. That's what I meant to say. But, and your lack of understanding of Alberta culture and Alberta history and all that stuff. Like, that's on you. Anyways,
Crazy. On
so
the topic of Alberta culture, we have got our X series going on, and
yes,
right?
yeah,
This
it's
is
been a lot
going
of
to
fun.
be installment number 4. I'm really excited.
It is, yeah. So this is the X Factor female voices on Alberta Independence. Yeah, episode 4. And we're doing this in collaboration with the Alberta Nation Directory.
Yep.
So, I saw somebody did something online and they were like, well, where do I find out anything like it's not a very organized movement. I'm like, oh my goodness, if you want to find out anything about anything when it comes to Alberta independence, who's who, the most recent articles that have been released, where the meetings are being held, who's putting on the meetings, albertanation.com. That is the place to go. They do such a fantastic job, and it's a lot of work. You gotta keep in track of all the moving parts,
It is.
but they do a fantastic job. And so they are doing this in collaboration with us as well. These episodes, X Factor episodes. So yeah, number 4, here we come.
Here we come. Awesome. And I'm so excited to introduce everybody to Nicole today. So Nicole, we met her online. It sounds like a dating app, but it was not. And we met her on X. And we found out right away she's feisty. She is right in there. She is all about seeing Alberta become our own nation. And she's one of those kind of you call it maybe a mama bear by proxy, because she's helping to raise her nephew. And so she just still sees the absolute power in this, and making sure that Alberta moves forward in the plans that we have. The other thing that is so fascinating about Nicole is that her background is like so many other women. Honestly, it starts here and it ends here, and it may go over here and then it might go back over there, and you never really know. But for right now, she's still pretty young. So for right now, it was hairdressing is where it began. Now she's in the oil field as an instrument tech. She's taken it on. Right up there, like going back and forth, staying in camp in Fort McMurray, coming back home for the week, doing all of that, paying the bills, getting things done, and sees a lot of different things, particularly within those camps, that we don't, or gets to have those conversations that we don't. And so I'm just really excited to bring Nicole on so everybody else can meet her and see how amazing she is. And we'll just see, how did she even get involved in this whole entire movement anyway. So welcome, Nicole.
Hey, Nicole.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure. So we're going to just hand it over to you. How did you get in this? What happened that you thought that Alberta needed to be our own country?
So, I guess the best way to say it. So when I had to leave hairdressing due to psoriasis and stuff on my hands, I moved into sales rep as a hairdresser. And while I was a sales rep, COVID hit. And back then, like when you're a sales rep in the hair industry, it's not the same as other industries. You're 100% commission. You're paying your own vehicle, your own hotel, everything. And you're making actually a very small percentage of commission on top of that. They really do take advantage of their people. And when the salons shut down, so did my income. So it was, and I mean, the salons were shut down for a year and a half, almost 2 years. Like they were shut down a long time. A lot of the other businesses were able to kind of slowly open, but the service industries really got hit. Right. So at that point, it was time for me to make a career choice as well. 35, midlife crisis. So I decided to go into a completely different industry, 180, and started working on site as for a friend of mine, and became interested in instrumentation and went from there. Started working on site, and when you're surrounded by the guys up north, let's just say if you weren't into politics before, you get indoctrinated into politics when you're up north.
Is that right?
So, yes, I never paid attention to it. I always had an interest in economics, investing, things like that, but not politics itself. And to be fair, I was small c conservative, because I didn't understand, right? It was from the age of 18, it was my dad going, everyone votes. You have to vote. You do not miss your voting, because we had my great grandfather was in the military and all of that. So it's like, that was the one thing. But did you truly understand as an arts person who you were voting for?
Right.
So I think like a lot of women, I tended to scope to the liberal a bit, but it wasn't full liberal, because I had that interest in economics as well. And then going up north, and then starting to do my own research on politics and what was going on, and policies, and how policies affect our day to day, and all of that. I ended up actually moving quite a bit far right into the more libertarian views, which is leave me alone, let me invest my money where I want to invest it, let me spend my money on what I want, let the industries shift as desires shift, right? Capitalism, and don't tell me what to do.
Right. That's why we get along so well, you and I. I'm exactly the same. Yeah, I'm exactly the same. So then, I'll just ask the question. So while you're up there and you get chatting with these guys about politics, what is their response to you when you guys are talking?
I mean, the overwhelming majority would be independents at this point, right? For most people on site.
Really?
Oh, I mean, we've got some people who fly in from Newfoundland every shift and all of that, and they're obviously less keen on it. But to them, it also doesn't make a big difference because they'll still fly in. It doesn't really matter to them as much, right?
Right.
They'll just need a visa from the company to fly in and out as an independent country, because I don't think we would change that per se as a new country.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we do the eastern the Atlantic provinces do send a lot of people into our oil and gas industry, and I mean, as much as we'd love them to build theirs as well, a lot of their experience comes from working here first, and then
Right.
they bring it back over there.
That's true. That's true, because there are some announcements coming up for Newfoundland in particular. I saw that
Yeah.
they're getting ready to start put some shovels in the ground. So that's kind of exciting for them.
Mhm.
What's the age? What's the age range of the guys up there that you're chatting with?
Oh God, anything from 22 to 68.
Okay.
Like I've got people who are still working, and they're almost 70.
Well, I find it interesting that you brought up the fact that, you know, these guys are directly affected by policy. And I think, unfortunately, for many people, we don't pay attention until we are affected. You know, I was talking to some ladies this last weekend who were completely clueless about anything to do with federal or provincial politics, and not just politics, but what the government is doing and the policies that they're trying to push through. And they were blissfully ignorant to it. And I thought, well, that's good until it actually bites you in the butt, but then it's too late. So interesting that you bring up, yeah, these guys are actually affected by policy. Policy does matter, and elections have consequences. We hear that all the time, see that all the time. Elections do have consequences,
Right?
yeah.
But we've been pretty lucky over the last 40 years. It hasn't been until the last 10, right? Where
Yeah.
we've really, well, I mean, the 80s, I mean, I was born in the 80s, so I don't remember the 80s. But I mean, there are obviously events in our history as Albertans where we're reminded again, one, what the rest of the country looks at us as, and two, how little voice we actually have within Confederation, right?
Right.
So we get placated for a while, we get comfortable, and then the East votes someone in who says, "I wash my hands of Western Canada, and we don't care anymore."
That's pretty much it. What was the tipping point for you, Nicole, to say, you know what, it's Alberta independence or bust? What was that moment for you?
So this was about 4 years ago. So it would have been just not too long after COVID when I started doing looking at independence. But I was following APP. Someone had gotten me in contact with them, and I was interested in. They had the 3 structure at the time, so it was either sovereignty within Canada, sovereignty without Canada, and then 51st state, right? So they had all 3 options. Basically, they're saying, as Albertans, we have that choice, right? But just like APP, I started to look more in depth into the Constitution. I did take a course on business law back in my early 30s. And so I started looking more in depth into how those were written, how the constitutions were written, some of the setup in Confederation. So how many Senate seats we have, how many MPs we've got, what type of voting power do we have? And I realized that without a full constitutional reform, nothing's going to change. We can't remove equalization without opening it. We can't get more MPs. We can't, no one will change the Senate.
Right.
Because you'll get too much pushback from those who have the largest voting voice. which is Quebec and Ontario. So it was at that point, I was like, as much as even if we wanted to stay, to become sovereign within Canada, it wouldn't change anything. We'd still be in the same position we currently are.
Yep.
Yeah.
We very much would.
It's interesting. So is staying in the patch, is that something that you see in the future, like that's something that you will continue to do? And
yeah, like moving within the industries is kind of fairly easy for instrumentation techs. Our equipment doesn't change much. So hopefully I'll move closer, be able to work closer to home at some point. Till then, every worker does their dues up in Fort McMurray, right? It's just, you gotta pay your dues. However, I mean, as Kathy knows, I'm big into nuclear. I have a huge interest in it. I'd love to see it expand within Alberta. However, I don't see it the same way as Eastern Canada does. They look at the modular nuclear reactors and things like that, whereas I'm big into thorium nuclear, which I was just telling her the other day that China is in the process of designing a ship that will run off of thorium nuclear power, which I think is where Alberta should be heading. Is if we're gonna go into that realm, why are we creating an energy, using a type of energy that someone else has created when Alberta is the energy? We should be the energy capital of the world.
right.
We have the brains, we have the knowledge. I mean, we created directional drilling, right? We're even using directional drilling into thermal energy now. Why aren't we creating our own, right? So thorium is kind of where I'm sitting right now, which is just, it's for those who don't know anything about thorium, it was brought in back in the 80s, and then back then nuclear still had a bad rap. But thorium is basically, it's a much more stable nuclear source. It can't be used for bombs because of how stable it is. It also has a much shorter decay life, so it doesn't remain active as long, which is much better for the environment. And thorium is very easy to get. Like we have it all through Alberta and Saskatchewan.
Interesting.
This is why I like 6-hour car rides with this girl. You learn a lot.
I bet. Well, you know what, Kathy, and I'm sure like you can speak to this too, Kathy. Like anytime, I'm trying to think about all the different meetings that we've done. Anytime we do a meeting, Calgary North, there's always at least one or two ladies from the patch at the meetings, which blows my mind because if I now it's been a long time since I've lived in Fort Mac, but at that time it was extremely male dominated, and I'm assuming that it's probably still the same, Nicole, that you're working.
Oh yeah, I'm outnumbered.
Yeah, by quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
So how interesting is it that when women are few and far between in the patch, that they find their way to Alberta independence? Why is that? Right? Like they're seeing things. Statistically, it shouldn't be so, but you ladies are seeing things that the rest of us aren't, and you've got a knowledge that the rest of us don't. So I've written that down, thorium. That's interesting. Now I'm like totally, my interest is piqued in that.
Right? Yeah. No, it's Kathy and I have talked a few times about it, so it's something that interests me, and I'd love to see it researched more heavily in Alberta.
Wow,
it's very cool. It's very cool. So what do you see, Nicole, as being the biggest challenge to us getting across the finish line of independence?
At the moment, I don't know if there are too many challenges right now. The federal government seems to be doing exactly what we need them to do, which is screw us over.
Right.
Right. Yeah, their disdain for us is showing constantly. Some of the other provinces' disdain for us is showing constantly. Right. I think the biggest thing is going to be marketing and getting the information out there to people, especially like everyone, including yourselves, are doing what you can. But you still have the people who do tend to focus on mainstream media. And that one's going to be near to impossible to get into because those companies aren't going to want to change.
No.
So I think that's going to be our biggest, is getting the information out there to the people who aren't, because there's some people who aren't actively looking for answers, right? They don't have questions. Now, those could sit within the 30% who will never change their minds. But I do believe because I was more liberal at one point, I do feel like independence is non-political. I think if what people want for the future of their families, my nephews, my nieces, is a prosperous future, then independence is really the only way to look at it. Now, don't get me wrong, you get the usual pushback, right? Oh, well, we'll be landlocked. Well, technically, we're politically already landlocked. That doesn't change. I mean, you've got the announcement of the fertilizer export going down in Washington now. Okay, well, that's exactly the same concept as if we were an independent nation. Yeah. Washington would be more than happy to export our stuff for us if BC is going to decide to throw a wrench in it.
Yeah.
Right? Give them the business. Doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to me who we give our business to. And then you've got the all the businesses will leave Alberta. I love that one. I'm like, coming from my industry and my history within a bunch of different industries, I'm like, well, considering Alberta is predominantly resource based, and even our service industries are based on resources because it's a trickle down effect. Well, resources don't get up and move.
Right.
So when everyone's like, well, Quebec lost all of these industries with them when they did the referendum. I'm like, you do know that was banking and service, right? They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, they've never done resources.
No.
So what they lost was the bank's head office, the head offices from the banks.
Yeah. Because
those can move anywhere. Doesn't matter where you are. They can get up and move. They can go to New York for all we know, right?
Yeah.
Same goes for the service industry or manufacturing. You can build a factory somewhere else, but you can't take oil and natural gas and uproot it somewhere.
Right.
It ain't going anywhere.
Exactly.
Very good argument. Very good argument.
So considering the percentage of our GDP that comes from the resource sectors, we wouldn't be losing anything. We might lose a couple head offices, maybe. And and I doubt that because half the head offices are oil and gas or resource based.
Yeah.
And they'll want their foothold to stay here as an independent country.
Well, if anything, we might see some of them come back to downtown Calgary.
That's what I would expect.
I could see Enbridge expanding back into us. I could see TC Energy expanding back into Alberta because TC Energy's big issue, right, has been the history with the federal government. Mm-hmm. That's why they've pulled out so much out of Canada. There's lots of companies here that are pulling out. I mean, don't get me wrong, their sites are selling to other companies, but you're just seeing bigger and bigger companies now. You're not seeing so many little companies, and I don't think that's again, less competition. So I'd rather see us make a change that could bring some of those smaller companies back.
Well, exactly. And it's those smaller companies that we really get to have fun watching that Alberta entrepreneurial spirit flourish, thrive. And, people grow up with a dream and then they make it happen and others get to be a part of it. You don't get that when you're a number at a big company and told to take their stupid DEI courses once a year and whatever else not, right?
Yeah, I love those meetings at work. I'm the only female there, and it's like, you guys, you guys it's about showing respect to the women. I'm like, I'm a woman. I don't care what they say. I chose
handle
to ignore
myself.
that stuff a long time ago. It's like, I'm like, if you're sensitive in the patch, oh, you're in trouble.
Yeah, move on. Right?
Like,
Move on.
the trick is to tease right back. The guys say something they shouldn't have, I'll say something back I shouldn't have. It's just the way it works.
That's right.
Tit for tat, right? And
Yeah.
the guys respect you more for it if you do.
Oh,
Totally.
100%. That's just guys. That's guys for you, right? They're testing you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Totally.
interesting.
That's cool. So what do you see for you? How long do you think this is going to take?
For what? Independence?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping a referendum next year, but I think it's doable. I don't see why not.
Yeah. I think we're definitely going to have the referendum. That part.
I think there's enough Albertans, doesn't matter which side of that fight you're on, that want an answer.
Yeah.
Right? Yes or no.
That's right.
A lot of times the unknowing is what hurts the province more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the uncertainty for sure.
Because investment doesn't like uncertainty. I mean, that's what the federal government is currently giving the industries right now is uncertainty.
Yeah.
So it's if we want certainty, then we need to give an answer.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
And I almost the other side is wanting the referendum too, like the Thomas Lukaszik's crew, who their original intention was, of course, to get rid of this whole referendum. But man, I found myself in a few conversations with folks that are on that side of it saying, well, let's just have it so we can know. And I'm like, that's what we've been saying.
Right? it's the nature of democracy.
Mm-hmm.
We all get a say, we all get a vote.
Yeah.
We get an answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Right. And I mean that's how democracy should work.
It is.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Well, that's cool. Nicole, thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for having me.
It didn't take me too long. I had her convinced before Red Deer, so it was good.
Good. Yeah, we totally appreciate it. We know for it takes depending on your situation, who you are, it takes a little bit of courage to get on camera and publicly state how you feel about things. But we totally appreciate your willingness to join us for sure.
No, of course.
Awesome. Well, and Nicole, I might see you tonight. I'm not sure. We'll find out.
Sounds good.
Right.
If anyone needs to know, APP in Strathcona County.
There you go.
Cool. Right on. Well, thanks, Nicole, so much again.
All right. Thank you.
She's pretty cool, hey?
Love it. Yeah. Those patch girls, my goodness. They know what their level of experience and what they can speak to from their personal experience is just so much more than, some of the junk, the rhetoric that we hear, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's good to hear from the women from every industry so that we can know exactly like what's going on in yours. And there's going to be some crossover. There's going to be some differences. But at the end of the day, the referendum is going to help us all. So
yeah,
it's kind of where that's at.
Well, and like she said, it's all about kind of getting the word out there. And so, yeah, for folks who are watching this video, please, if you would be interested, there's a couple different things that we do as the Alberta Women's Independence Network. If you would like to get on our newsletter, we put a newsletter out once a week where we are sharing the link to this video, but then also other videos and articles that we come across on different independence topics throughout the week that you can share with your friends and neighbors. And it's all about educating yourself, right? So if you want to be on that list, that newsletter list, this is our email address right here, Alberta Women's Independent or AB Women's Independence Network at gmail.com. Also, we hold meetings across the province, and these aren't like big town hall meetings, although we will do that too. And like Kathy, you've spoken at so many different meetings as a guest speaker for other groups, for the APP or what have you. we will do the bigger meetings, but our focus is really on these smaller meetings in people's homes or at a local cafe or local restaurant where we just have a really short presentation, which just kicks off the discussion and the conversation about Alberta independence. It's much more one-on-one. So if you have friends or family who would never go to a rally or would never go to a large meeting, that's just not their cup of tea, but they would love to come to your house for a cup of tea.
Yep.
We would love to join you for that. And again, you can set that up through the our email. You can just email us, reach us that way. Yeah, and it's all about that. We've got to get this message out, and a referendum is what we need, but we need to be getting that message out and reaching as many people, encouraging them to become educated on the facts before they stand in that voting booth with that ballot in front of them.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So all the ladies and the men that are watching this, we're challenging you. Get the word out. Get us to your place. Get us in your living room, in your kitchen. As I said to a couple of ladies last week, they asked, "Well, what do you need?" And I said, "A cup of coffee. That's all I need. That's good. That's it. I bring everything else, so not a problem." So yeah, help us get the word out. Help us help you get the word out.
Yeah, awesome. And like and subscribe and share if you can. It helps.
Oh yeah, all that stuff we forget to say.
Right?
Well, Angela, we will chat with you later.
Yes. Next time we talk, I hope there's a grandbaby in my arms.
Me too. Me too. We'll be praying that everything goes absolutely perfect.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, take care, Kathy.
You too.